I think my move into politics came almost like a calling to me. It was not, I always tell people, it's not something that I want to do. I believe it is something that I must do. I believe in horoscopes, and my horoscope always said from when I was a baby that after 60, I'll spend the last 20 years of my life in Delhi or in the seat of politics. And I don't know whether it's because of that, but I have a kind of an inexorable drawing towards
Why
politics.
BJP?
Why the BJP? Very good question, Nirmala. Very good question. Why the BJP? I have always been a very proud nationalist. I've written a few non-medical books, and one of them is called Heroes. Heroes, the book itself is nothing but 13 heroes whom I respect and revere. Velu Nachiyar is there, Bharatiyar, Mao Chidambaram Pillai, Shivaji Maratha, Bhagat Singh and Chandrasekhar Azad, that group, Surya Sen from West Bengal, people like this, and Rani Velu Nachiyar very prominently. I found that they all gave their lives, their heart, their soul for the country. It was not, Bhagat Singh didn't give for Layalpur, which is part of Pakistan now. He gave for India. Surya Sen, who died in Chittagong, he gave it for India. All of them gave it for the larger concept of the Bharata Varsha. They didn't give it for a small place. I was always a nationalist, and when I read Bharatiyar poems, I'm also a great follower of Cheppagaraman Pillai. Many people don't know, but the word Jai Hind, he's the man who actually originated that, the phrase. He was a Tamilian who was based out of Trivandrum. So my second book was called The Patriot Who Attacked Madras. He is the one who brought the Emden to attack Madras when Madras was a British centre. And my third book is called 7 Word Mantras. It's based on the 10 Tirukurals. Each 7 word mantra is a Tirukural. The 10 Tirukurals that Mr. Modi used over the last 7 years. In the process of writing all these books, I became very intimately acquainted with Shivaji Maratha for my book release, which was done by Mr. Annamalai in July 2022. Shivaji Maratha's last descendant, Velu Nachiyar's last descendant, Mao Chidambaram Pillai's grandchildren, Bharatiyar's great-grandchildren, Bhagat Singh's blood lineage, all these people came in. Of course, I got very close to Cheppagaraman Pillai's family. In the process, a lot of changes happened inside me, and I began to think completely nationalistically. For me, to not say Bharat Mata Ki Jai, to not say Jai Hind, is next to treason. And therefore, I liked the nationalism of the BJP. I am a staunch Hindu. I was born a Hindu, and when I am burnt, I will be burnt as a Hindu. I am proud to be a Hindu. I don't want to feel a sense of shame to say I'm a Hindu. And just as I would say Merry Christmas, or just as I would say Eid Mubarak, I want to say Happy Holi, I want to say Happy Deepavali, Deepavali Valthukkal, or Pongal Valthukkal. And I cannot understand how some people say, I will celebrate Pongal, but I will not celebrate Deepavali or Holi. And therefore, I move towards that. Yes, I'm a Tamilan. I always tell people I'm a Bharatiya, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Tamilan. Many people think being a Tamilan means you are not being a Hindu, you're not being an Indian. That is complete baloney.
We can have more than one face.
Look at Bharatiyar, look at Cheppagaraman Pillai, look at Veerabandi Kattabomman, look at Marudu brothers. Marudu brothers, 100 plus years ago, they never said we are fighting for Dravidam. They never said we are fighting for Tamil Nadu. That declaration was called the Jambudvipa Declaration. The Sanskrit word Jambudvipa, which is nothing but the Akhanda Bharat, uncut Bharat. Marudu brothers in Sivagangai, when they could think that way, and I have followed all their exploits, I am writing about them. Anybody who believes in nationalism, I am a Tamilan, I believe in Kaniyan Pungundran, Purananuru, he wrote Yadu Mure Yavurum Kelir. He did not say Malayali, Kolayali, Telugu Vandi Pichapottava, Hindi Karan Marwadi. He never said that. And I believe that I would subscribe to a political party that says all of India is one. All of the Hindu nation is one. And Hindu nation does not, I repeat this, Hindu nation does not look down on Islam or Christianity. As far as we are concerned, Sarva Dharma, Sambhava, everything is same. And I want to belong to a political party which espouses what Shivaji Maratha followed, what Velu Nachiyar followed, what Marudu brothers. If you follow this, Nirmala, only one party can be, that's the BJP. And that's
But hasn't BJP had this view that it's a north party, north based, and maybe recently they have been trying to outgrow that, but they're still very much northern centric, right?
They are, I would disagree with that, sister. I would say they are perceived as northern centric. I would make one more important statement that I would like our viewers to think. They are portrayed, if you ask me, there's a lot of convolution there. A lot of obfuscation. They are portrayed as being predominantly northern centric. They say they are a Brahmin party. They say they are a party of the Aryans. These Aryans who came by the Khyber Pass by a completely undocumented, undecipherable, completely false narrative. They say they are only for the upper class people. You look at the leaders that we have had. Look at Mr. Murugan, look at Mr. Annamale, look at Dr. Tamilisai. Neither of these three, the last 7 years you can look at, none of them belongs to the upper class. Yes. None of them belongs to the upper caste. They're two different things. You can be in a lower class, but you can be a multi-millionaire. Yes. None of these people, one is a doctor, one is a lawyer, and the other is an IPS officer. They are all classic middle class people, no upper class. None of these three belong to the upper caste. All sons of the soil. Mr. Annamale, like me and 2.5 crore people, is a Vedada. Mr. Murugan, Anantadiyar. Mrs. Dr. Tamilisai, she's a Nada. Nobody is in the upper caste. No. None of them is white. They said, no, Velagara Mari Varma. All of them are dark. I always feel I am dark. They're all as dark as me, if not darker. So, the exact thing is, this BJP has been showing people, look, we are not an upper caste party. But locally, the only way they can hit the center is by going on with this false narrative from those times. I'll tell you one thing. As a doctor entering politician, two things that I'm doing. One is I have reread and reread the Constitution of India. I've become a big Ambedkar fan because of that. One. Two, I'm reading Mapo Sivanyanam's books in Tamil about the entire history, political history of Tamil Nadu. Recently I was reading, in 1934, when the first time Madras presidency, the elections happened, it was Congress on one side and the Justice Party on one side. I know Justice Party was primarily founded by many of my ancestors, the Mudaliyars, who wanted a non-Brahmin movement. But though it was started by many great Mudaliyars, the Justice Party during the elections, and it's very clearly written by Mapo Sivanyanam. They said, if you vote the Congress into power, there was no BJP at that time. If you vote the Congress into power, you will have nothing but Brahmins sitting on your head. You will have Manusmriti on your head. 1934. We are in 2024 and they are throwing the same silly arguments. The same Manusmriti, the same Brahmins.
But you cannot really erase the caste or what you are, right? So that is evident, isn't it? I mean, how are you really fighting it to say, we're not looking at all that. We're just a party trying to help the nation as a whole. I don't care what one person is, what another person is.
Correct.
But when we do speak, it comes out, right? It does come out.
It comes out. I agree with you, but this is what the BJP has done to counter that. Throughout the Congress period, there has never been such a high percentage of Dalit members of parliament or Dalit BJP members or Dalit BJP MLAs as have been between 2014 and 2024. It's an almost huge skew, number one.
Okay.
Number two, there have never been, Congress kept on shouting, we are for social justice. DMK has always been saying this, ADMK has always been saying that we are for social justice. But how do you prove social justice? A lady, social justice means keeping men and women same. So
yes.
Give the woman the slot. Social justice means giving the Brahmin, between the Brahmin and Dalit, give them both space, give the Dalit the slot.
Yes.
For the first time, a president of India, Ram Nath Kovind, was a scheduled caste. For the first time, it was the second time after and then after Mr. Narayan, and for the first time, a Dalit, a woman, a widow at that, Mrs. Traubel, not only just a Dalit, first time somebody from the scheduled tribe, yes. Because Mr. Narayan and Mr. Kovind were both from scheduled caste. From the scheduled tribe, a woman comes in and becomes the president. What more can the BJP do to show that they believe in social justice? I'm not a fool. I've been tracking and I want to put this out. I'm not running behind BJP. If the BJP had not shown the social justice, I would not have been with them. But I have been tracking them for 3-4 years, and then I jumped in. And they have shown, similarly also when Vajpayee was there. Vajpayee is a great man. I admired his poetry as well. Abdul Kalam was kept as the president of India. Again, who kept it? BJP. So Muslims have always been shown a lot of strength in the BJP. I also want to point out to the public that the people who brought down Abdul Kalam's presidency and prevented him from becoming the president the second time were the Congress and the DMK. The DMK that claims that the BJP does nothing for Muslims. Think about it. Revisit history. From 1999 to 2004, at the end of the Vajpayee government, when the Congress came back inside, Sonia Gandhi ji almost had a resolve to knock Abdul Kalam off from the presidency. And the DMK, which stands for Tamizhargal Munnetram, Kalam Pakka Tamizhargal, Islamiyargal Munnetram, Abdul Kalam Pakka Muslim. They supported the Congress to knock it out. You fast forward from 2004 to 2023 or 2022, when Draupadi Murmu was being put as the presidential candidate. Who put her up as the presidential candidate? Was the social justice? It was the BJP. Who opposed Draupadi Murmu? Who opposed a woman from becoming the president? Who opposed a widow from becoming the president? Who opposed a scheduled tribal from becoming the president? It was the Congress and the BJP Congress and the DMK who supported Yashwant Sinha, was a Pakka Bihari Brahmin. So on the one hand, you flout and you spout anti-Brahmin. Ivera very famously made a statement which I believe should be expunged. Said, if you look at a snake and if you look at a Brahmin, you hit the Brahmin first. And people say that, and when I say that, I'm not a Brahmin, but Brahmin blood should boil. They just smile and walk away. He said that, and then the same DMK, which came from the DK, is supporting Yashwant Sinha, a Bihari Brahmin, against a Dalit, scheduled tribe, woman who's a widow. There cannot be a greater paradigm of duplicity than this. You cannot go more to talk if you talk in terms of George Orwell. This is called double speak. You'll say like this and you'll say like that. Classic example. Now you're asking me why I joined BJP. This is why I joined the BJP. At the state level, I know most of the DMK and the ADMK leaders. As friends, we are still friends. My friendship will never change. I will never resort to calling names or throwing mud, which seems to be the norm here. I heard somebody called Sivaji Krishnamurthy spout absolute, unadulterated, unqualified filth from that hole in his face that we call the mouth. He talked the worst of words, and I want to point out to all the youngsters who are listening to this, it's not as if we don't know bad words. We know bad words in English, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi, Urdu, in Arabic, etc., etc. 6 or 7 languages. Those fellows know only in one language. That also he is using a Hindi word, a word that's LKB word he is using, and after saying that he doesn't want to use Hindi. Public should be aware of this, sister. Public should go out and say, we will not vote for people who denigrate the very essence of politics. This is why doctors, decent people should come in. The difference between a decent man and filth, like the Sivaji Krishnamurthy, is that the decent man knows all those bad words, but will not use it. The filth will know only a small number of words, but will keep using it. And I believe that Mr. Annamalai calling for people to come into, professors to come in. And I'm a professor, Professor Rama Srinivasan is a professor. We need, Dr. Tamilisai is a doctor. We need more, look at Mrs. Vijay Tanvi, she's a Supreme Court advocate, and she was Assistant Solicitor General. We need more educated and decent people to say, we are the face of Tamil Nadu politics. May not be today, maybe next year, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, perhaps never at all. But the fact that we also ran and decent people also participated should go to the larger public.
Okay.